Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, hi, I'm Melody, and on this channel I like to discuss fragrances. Today I will be going over some samples that I got from Krystal fragrances. If that's something you're interested in, please keep watching. I received some samples from Krystal fragrances when I purchased my bottle of Rouge Smoking, and I got Cherry on Top by Rihanna Perfume. I have the Chronic Rouge Extreme from Byron Parfums and FROJD, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, from Svensk Parfum. So of these three, there were two of them that were cherry, and I'm not sure if they do this intentionally, but Rouge Smoking is a cherry fragrance. I wonder if, because I got a cherry fragrance, that they picked samples that had cherry in them. So I have three samples here that I'm going to go over. The first sample I'm going over is Cherry on Top. So the main accords are vanilla, sweet, leather, caramel, powdery, musky, cherry, amber, animalic, and nutty. The notes are vanilla, caramel, cherry, suede, leather, white musk, chestnut, amber, tea, and jasmine. So it opens up smelling like a dentist office, like the laughing gas that they would give you if, like, you know, when the dentist asks, as a kid, they ask you what flavor. Yeah, it smells like a cherry laughing gas. So about 2 hours in, it dries down and it smells a lot like Lolita Land, which is a fragrance that I can really appreciate the scent, but it has a weird scent memory for me. So it's a fragrance that I don't want to own. And in the same way, that's how this one feels. Between the dentoffice scent and then smelling like a candle that is sold at a pet store, this is not a fragrance that I'm interested in. However, if you like Lolita Land, you might like the dry down of this. And a lot of people like weird scents, like, I mean, Baccarat, a lot of people say that smells like a dentist's office or a hospital or a Band-Aid. So Cherry on Top might be your jam if that's something you're interested in, but to me, it's just not a fragrance I cared for. The next sample I have is the Chronic Rouge Extreme by Byron Parfums. This fragrance is sweet, fruity, warm, spicy, woody, aquatic, powdery, musky, ozonic, vanilla, and fresh. The top notes are raspberry, whipped cream, melon, and pear. Middle notes are spicy notes, cinnamon, and amber. Base notes are white musk, sandalwood, and patchouli. The opening is beautiful. The raspberry and the whipped cream and the melon and that pear, it's like a really fresh, juicy pear. They smell so good together. It has this fruity, creamy opening, like a fruit salad, like with whipped cream or something. I've seen those, you know, at like you're at a family picnic and somebody brings a fruit salad that has all this cream mixed in, like some people do. I don't know. But that's what it reminds me of. However, it starts to get very like spicy with the cinnamon and like really rich with the amber, and that's lovely. However, I don't see how those mix well. The top makes me think of like fresh summer, and this is one of the only fragrances with melon notes that my body doesn't turn rancid. So I love that. But then the middle notes makes it seem more like fall appropriate with the spices, and it's cozy. So this is one of those fragrances that I'm like, I don't know where to place. This isn't necessarily a fragrance I'd pick out for summer, but this is also not a fragrance that I would pick out for like fall or winter. But it is a lovely fragrance. I just don't know where I would use it or when I would use it or how I'd pull for it. I would love a fragrance that had those top notes, that had maybe some more florals in the middle, or even like those mid notes and the base notes are really lovely together, and maybe with like a citrus, like a blood orange or something. I'm not a perfumer. I don't claim to be, and I shouldn't be telling people how to do their job, but this fragrance is wonderful. It's beautiful. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like two different fragrances like competing with each other. Still have a bit of the sample left, and I do want to use it a few more times, but my brain just can't compute. I'm like, all fresh, fruity, juicy, spring, summer, and then you're like spicy, warm, like cozy winter, fall. Maybe this could be a fragrance that you wear and a summer heading into fall, or even winter heading into spring. It could maybe be used in those cases. I mean, I really love it. Here, when I'm looking at Fragrantica, it has most votes for fall and followed by spring, then winter, and then summer. So yeah, I could see it on those like cusps of like the seasons changing. I just wish I like, I love it. I love both parts of it, but I don't love it as a whole. It doesn't come together as a whole for me. The fact that I love a lot of raspberry fragrances, I'm coming to find. There were raspberry fragrances when I was first trying it out that I was like, I don't even smell raspberry. That doesn't smell like raspberry, because it was like an artificial raspberry. There are a lot of raspberry fragrances that I'm coming to find that I absolutely love. And so I love the raspberry, I love the whipped cream. I finally found a melon fragrance that works on my skin, and so I was so excited about that. And I love the juicy pear. It smells so good, and I wanted it to stay that way. I would love this with like a jasmine or a tuberose. I don't know if I love that with like orange blossom. I think jasmine or tuberose is where I would like to see this fragrance go. And even the musk and sandalwood patchouli, that would be wonderful. But then again, I'd also want to see a fragrance like this that had like those spicy cinnamon, amber, keep the base the same, and just add, like, I really love blood orange or tangerine, something that's still uplifting and juicy, because I like that mixed with this, but like, I don't know. Oh my gosh. It is really good. I could probably see myself falling in love with this fragrance and finding a case use for it, but for now, like, since I've worn it a few times, I'm just like, I don't know where I'd place this. So it's a confusing fragrance. So I want my brain to make sense of it. But I do recommend this if you can find a place for that kind of fragrance. This last one I have is FROJD. Svensk Parfum. I'm sure I butchered that. I do not know how to pronounce that. So the main accords for this one are woody, amber, cherry, musky, animalic, sweet, aromatic, earthy, powdery, and balsamic. The notes are cherry, ambergris, woody notes, musk, and vetiver. Oh my gosh, I love this fragrance. It's so good, but it comes off very masculine to me. This is a fragrance that for me, like, I loved smelling it, but it didn't feel like it suited me, and it was just way too masculine for my liking. But on here in Fragrantica, it says unisex, and then there's some votes for female. To me, there's something about this freshness and woody muskiness that leans masculine to me. The cherry is so nice mixed with that like wafting kind of ambergris smell. I love smelling this. In fact, I snuck it onto my husband. He doesn't care for fragrance and stuff, but I want to smell it on him, so I sprayed him. But I want to buy a bottle for my husband, and I don't think he'd wear it. So anyhow, it's a great fragrance. I just don't want to stop smelling it, but I don't want to smell like it. But I definitely think this is something to check out, because Fragrantica disagreed with me. Most people think it's unisex, and then there are people who say it leans feminine, but I don't know. I think it smells so good, but just not for me. I wouldn't say like an air freshener, but I would use it as a room spray, pretty expensive room spray. It smells so good. So those are some niche samples that I got from Krystal Fragrances. I was so pleasantly surprised. I often find that I get like samples and I like a third or even a quarter of them. I tend to be a little picky, or I'll get discovery sets and be like, I don't care for any of them. But in this case, there were 3 fragrances, and 2 of them I loved. So I was quite impressed with the collection they gave me. I know that Byron Parfums has a different fragrance that has cherry in it, so I don't know if maybe that was a mix-up, or maybe they wanted to see if I liked something else. But the other 2 were cherry, so I assumed maybe it was because I had already picked up a cherry fragrance. Either way, loved most of those. Cherry on top is not for me. It smells like a dentist's office. But the other 2, so amazing. Unfortunately for me, I don't think either one is necessarily full bottle worthy for me right now. I think I want to spray both. I think I want to spray that other one on my husband and really get him into it, because I love that fragrance on him. It smells so good. Anyhow, I want to know if you've tried any of these and what your thoughts are. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye.